Hey, welcome back to another episode of Ambassador Talk. My name is Jason David. I'm an Air Force Wounded Warrior Ambassador, Active Duty Chief Master Sergeant, and during these conversations, ambassadors interview other ambassadors to share their stories and get their perspective. So with us today, we have retired Tech Sergeant Antonio Del Vecchio. Hey, Tony, what's going on?
Not much, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. So do me a favor and let me know the reason that you have decided that the Ambassador program was for you.
So I decided the Ambassador program is for me because of my initial involvement with AFW2. Being able to see what it does or what it did for me kind of drove me to be able to do that, reciprocate that to others, right? It changed my life. So for me to be able to try and do that with somebody else, even my story, maybe I can help one person. That's kind of the benefit of it.
So for folks that are watching this this video, what's most interesting is that most folks that are in the Air Force Wounded Warrior program stick with one program, but then find a love for this program in itself, and so they branch off to different things. So we have the Ambassador program, we have our resiliency program, we have our adaptive sports, where those competitions end up filtering through trials and going to the DoD Warrior Games. I will ask you, during your time with this program, is there a single moment that clicked in your head that said this program is for you?
So I kind of dove in head first, right? I'm a big fan of trial by fire. So when I heard the Air Force Wounded Warrior program had adaptive sports and that trials were coming up, I said, well, might as well go for it. So I tried trials. It was virtual at the time, so I didn't really get the whole feel of in-person, but being virtual was awesome. Now, with that, once I made the team, which was surprising to me, once I made the team, we went to team camp in July, and that was kind of my eye-opener. Meeting the staff and seeing everything that went on, and then meeting the people of the program and meeting all my fellow warriors is the highlight of it, and kind of what drove me to be more involved in the program and find out different avenues.
Well, I love it because that ultimately led you to becoming a Wounded Warrior Ambassador for AFW2. And so during this week, you're going through, the training, right? And at the end of the week, you'll be a fully licensed Wounded Warrior Ambassador for the Air Force. What does this program mean to you, specifically the Ambassador program?
So specifically the Ambassador program, the meaning to me is caring, right? If I could sum it up into one word, it's caring. Caring about my fellow airmen, fellow warriors, for the Air Force in general. Being labeled an ambassador drives home. I'm carrying my story to somebody else so they can pick up that story and find their own story, and then in turn start that road to recovery and kind of move their way forward. So eventually they'd be in my seat, and then we kind of replay that wheel.
So this is the question that most ambassadors either grit their teeth or they smile pretty hard. I will ask you to share a little bit about your experiences that led you through the doors of the Air Force Wounded Warrior program. So what do you got for us? So
my experiences are. I
did get you to smile, though.
You did. It took me. I was at a low point. I was very abrasive against the program at first. My RCC, she really hammered home, Val Burnham, she hammered home that concept of you really belong here, which I didn't think I did. I had all my limbs. I was fully functioning. I've seen opposites, right? I've seen people that have been missing limbs, and those people need this, in my mind, needed it more than me. And Val promised me, if you try it, go after it. So she told me that I wouldn't be here, or I wouldn't be talking to her if I didn't need the program. And it kind of started looking inwards on why I was there. Multiple combat deployments, several incidents happen while deployed. Lost several friends in combat, things like that. Your body's not designed, especially when you first come in at 18 years old, your body's not designed to see people dying. Your body's not designed to be shot at, and your mind isn't designed to keep all that in. So there's a breaking point at one point, and I was at that breaking point, and Air Force Wounded Warrior really helped me turn that into a positive note.
So I didn't actually ask, did you want to share what you've done for the Air Force during your time?
Yeah, I was a special mission aviator. Well, let me back up. I was a crew chief, came in as a 2A51 in early 2001, actually September 2001. 8 years later, I went ahead and cross-trained, and then I wanted to be a flight engineer. That flight engineer track turned into a 1 Alpha 9, which is a special mission aviator, and then that's my life story or my career story from that point.
So after you reached out to AFW2, right? So I'm assuming there's folks out there that probably don't think that they deserve to be a part of this program, right? And part of our effort is to educate folks that it's not just combat-related wounds, right? It's invisible wounds. It is chronic ill or injured. It's folks with life-threatening medical conditions, and it extends to things like post-traumatic stress disorder, military sexual trauma, and more. And the only way you're ever going to find out truly if you qualify is by heading to our website at woundedwarrior.af.mil. And so in your particular case, as a freshly minted ambassador, what do you think is your personal goals with these tools that we've provided you?
So my personal goals is, so I have a deep love for my career field, and I know there's individuals like myself that are sitting in silence and putting it all away. And there's certain individuals that I know that need to hear my story so they can come forward and get the help that they're going to need. And that's where I'm at with this training. It gives me a little bit, especially being able to go back to my base where my unit is. Even being retired, I'm a contractor on base now, right? So I still have access to those outlets to talk to those individuals. So for me to help just a little bit in the rescue community, to bring those guys forward that need to be able to talk to you, that have been suppressing it for a really long time, is one. And then two is really bringing anybody forward that just needs to talk about anything that they've been through that will ultimately or may, lead them down the road that I went down of going to get help and coming through the AFW2 doors.
I definitely dig it. So the obligatory question at the end is, what did I miss, Antonio?
Really nothing. I love the program. I love the Air Force. I love my fellow warriors, the airmen that I worked with, and that I still continue to serve in this asset, or in this capacity or in that capacity. I'm good.
Well, I appreciate it, my friend. I'm especially ecstatic that you're one of the Air Force Wounded Warriors' newest and newly minted ambassadors. So again, thanks for having this conversation with me. And for the folks that are watching this video, absolutely thrilled to be able to do this safely, obviously during COVID times. If you're interested in this video or more, please head over to our Facebook page at Air Force Wounded Warrior.